Reno Turakatane.
Kia ora, Mr Speaker. I'm pleased to make a short contribution in this debate. And whilst I'm not a member on the Justice Committee that's considered this bill... Oh, sorry, Law and Order.
No justice under national government.
I've found the debate very interesting, sir. It's good to be actually supporting legislation to strengthen the way we can combat organised crime and corruption. So we support this bill. It's been a long time in the making. It's quite ironic how it was introduced by the Honourable Judith Collins about 3 years ago, but it's finally made its way here to its second reading. And it's good that it brings New Zealand into line with various international conventions across a range of measures, and I understand it's amending roughly about a dozen pieces of legislation which will all be implemented as a result of the passage of this bill. So it's a commendable piece of legislation. I just want to pick up on the...
Order. Sorry, I've reflected on what the member said. His recent comments, and I think they were unparliamentary, and I will ask him to withdraw his comments in relation to another member.
I withdraw.
Thank you.
So returning to the bill, sir. Oh, point of order, Mr Speaker. Could I seek some clarification with you on that direction?
The problem that I have is that if I do clarify with the member what the inappropriate comments are, I will in fact repeat and compound his offence. I think if the member reflects carefully on what he said, he will understand what his offence was.
Thank you, Mr Speaker. Well, it certainly wasn't taken as offence by the members of the opposite backbenchers there, sir.
Order. Now the member will take a seat. When I make a ruling, it is not the role of the member to reflect on that ruling. It is final and it is finished. Reno Turakatane.
Thank you, Mr Speaker. Thank you for that ruling. Now, sir, I would like to talk about facilitation payments, sir, because I've experienced other international trade in other countries, sir, and it's a big wide world out there. And New Zealand, we're an exporting nation. We rely on selling our goods and services to customers around the world, and so it's very important that we break into overseas markets. And I've been working on behalf of the New Zealand government, assisting New Zealand companies, and I have worked with New Zealand companies themselves to break into certain countries to expand our exports and grow our foreign exchange earnings. And it's a difficult business. And I guess New Zealand businesses have to appreciate the cultural differences that do apply. And in certain countries that I've been attempting to do business with on behalf of New Zealand companies, the culture is very much facilitation payments, the greasing of the wheels, baksheesh as they call it. It is, whether it's just trying to park your car or whether it's trying to get it to an appointment, or whatever level of decision-making needs to be done. In certain cultures, it's endemic. And so, sir, I guess it's a business decision that ultimately New Zealand companies have to make. And what I do find, sir, is that the companies at the lower end of the Transparency International spectrum are the countries that we tend to avoid, because doing business in those countries is too tough. And so, but in terms of this legislation, sir, there is an ambiguity, because it doesn't state when a facilitation payment ends and a bribery begins. And by perpetuating that ambiguity, it doesn't really help our own international reputation as being one of the least corrupt countries in the world. And, sir, I would have hoped that the government could take on board Mr Clendon's supplementary order paper. It's some very sound recommendations. If it's good enough for the United Kingdom, if it's good enough for Australia to outlaw facilitation payments, then surely it should be good enough for Aotearoa New Zealand. And it is good that we can set the example because New Zealanders, we know how to do business. We're exporting all around the world, and we will put our efforts into countries, into overseas markets where we can form good relationships, but on a sound business footing and not perpetually trying to feed people that are trying to extract demands, bribes and facilitation payments and the like. So that is one aspect that we would hope can be improved in this bill, but otherwise there are some very positive measures which we do support.